We're going to explore a really unsettling biological truth today. Physical exhaustion, it's not just about feeling tired. Turns out, it's a key that can unlock and even control the human mind. So let's dive into how that actually works. This isn't just some chilling line from a movie. It's a statement that's deeply grounded in neurobiology. When you're extremely tired, your brain is forced into this energy-saving survival mode. And what's the first thing to go? Well, it systematically shuts down the very things that make you you. Your critical thinking, your handle on your emotions, and maybe most importantly, your ability to just say no.
I mean, you've been there, right? After a ridiculously long day or a night with no sleep, you're just more agreeable. You don't want to argue, you're willing to just go with the flow. This isn't some kind of character flaw. It's not you being lazy or weak. It's a biological defense mechanism. Your brain is literally trying to conserve every last drop of energy it has, and that has some pretty profound consequences for your own autonomy.
All right, so to really understand how this all goes down, we need to pop the hood and look at the brain's command and control centers, because this is exactly where the battle for your willpower is fought, and, when you're exhausted, where it's often lost.
So think of your brain as having two main players in this drama. On one side, you've got the prefrontal cortex, the PFC. This is the brain's CEO. It's the logical, rational part that manages impulses and thinks about the future. Then, on the other side, you've got the amygdala. This is your brain's alarm system. It's all about emotion, gut reactions, and pure survival. Now, in a healthy, rested brain, the CEO is firmly in charge.
So, how does the CEO stay in charge? Well, it all comes down to a really delicate chemical balance. See, under normal conditions, you have just the right amount of chemicals like dopamine and noradrenaline to keep the CEO's signal strong and clear. But when your body is exhausted, it screams high-stress situation to your brain. Your system gets flooded with way too much of these same chemicals and it completely overwhelms the PFC. It's like a short circuit. The logic just gets shut down. Your CEO is taken completely offline.
And the main culprit, the chemical that orchestrates this whole hostile takeover, is the stress hormone cortisol. It's the key that shifts your brain's entire operating system from thoughtful, careful logic to just raw, panicked survival. And this is wild. The damage is physical. High levels of cortisol literally weaken the prefrontal cortex. Its connections actually start to shrink. And at the exact same time, it beefs up the amygdala, making your emotional alarm system bigger, louder, and way more sensitive. So think about that for a second. The part of your brain that reasons is being physically weakened, while the part that panics is being strengthened. And of course, psychologists have a name for this. It's called ego depletion. The absolute best way to think about it is that your willpower is like a muscle at the gym. Every time you resist a temptation, push through discomfort, or make a hard decision, you're doing a rep. And just like any muscle, after a long, exhausting workout, it gets tired. It just can't lift anymore. Your self-control works the exact same way.
So all this forces your brain to make a critical energy-saving choice. It has to switch from what we call type 2 thinking, that's the slow, logical, and really energy-expensive stuff, to type 1 thinking. This is your fast, automatic, gut-feeling mode. It requires almost no effort. Now, it's great for making quick decisions, but it's also super suggestible. It relies on shortcuts, not real analysis. Your brain is essentially too tired to afford thinking hard anymore. Okay, so this biological vulnerability, it isn't just some weird fact of nature. It has been observed, understood, and in some cases, deliberately weaponized. This is where things get a little dark, as we look at how this plays out in the real world.
Let's start with military training. The military has, for a long time, been a pioneer in applying this principle. And stress training isn't just about getting recruits used to stress. It's about using stress and exhaustion to forge a very specific type of soldier.
And the effects are just staggering. Get this. Research shows that after just 1 week of intense training with sleep deprivation, a soldier's cognitive performance is actually worse than if they were legally drunk. The whole point is to replace slow, independent thought with fast, automatic obedience. By systematically draining their executive control, basic training breaks down who they were as a civilian to build a new identity, one that follows orders instantly, without the kind of hesitation that could be fatal in combat. Now, a much more sinister use of these exact same techniques can be found in high-control groups and cults. Here, the goal isn't combat effectiveness, it's total thought reform. And there's a playbook for it, based on the work of Robert J. Lifton. It's a devastatingly effective formula. You combine physical exhaustion from sleep deprivation and constant work with intense psychological pressure, like a demand for purity. This just depletes a person's physical and mental resources until, as one researcher put it, they no longer have the energy nor wit to question the group's beliefs. Their logical PFC is offline, making them completely dependent on the group for their entire sense of reality.
And this stuff hits even closer to home when we look at our own justice system. The link between exhaustion and suggestibility has some profound and frankly deeply concerning consequences when it comes to police interrogations. There's actually a clinical term for this: interrogative suggestibility. Basically, it's a measure of how vulnerable you are to accepting information that an authority figure gives you during questioning. And while some people might be naturally more suggestible, the research is crystal clear. Fatigue and stress can dramatically increase it in absolutely anyone.
And this is the most critical takeaway. We're not talking about weeks of torture here. The science is clear. Just one single night without sleep is enough to significantly increase the chance that an innocent person will confess to a crime they did not commit. They're just so cognitively worn down that giving a confession seems like the only way out, the only path to escape the immediate stress of that situation.
Okay, so after all that pretty heavy stuff, the big question is, how do we defend ourselves? If an exhausted body really does lead to an obedient mind, well then the path to protecting our own autonomy is clear. We have to reboot our brain's CEO.
The good news is, you can fight back. The solutions are pretty straightforward, even if they do take a little discipline. Your most powerful defense, the number one thing, is prioritizing quality sleep. It is absolutely non-negotiable for mental resilience. Then you gotta back that up with proper nutrition to refuel your brain, taking regular breaks to avoid burnout, and actively managing your stress.
And this isn't just some fluffy self-help advice. Each one of these actions has a direct neurobiological goal. Mindfulness actually lowers those stress-inducing cortisol levels we talked about. A consistent sleep schedule literally cleans toxic waste out of your brain. And proper food and water, that restores the energy your brain needs to run that logical, deliberative type 2 thinking. You are actively rebuilding your defenses at a chemical level.
So here's the bottom line. Your mental energy isn't just about being productive at work. It is your autonomy. And in a world that seems practically designed to drain it, protecting your rest isn't just self-care, it's self-defense. So the final question is, how will you protect yours?